Good morning and welcome to the porch. Well, we thought we'd get down here and make a video this morning. It's kind of rainy and overcast out there, and I've been planting grass seed, so I'm in my work clothes today. And as soon as I get done with this video, I'm going to get back out there and spread some straw and things and try to get the grass seed to where it'll stay in place. But anyway, that's my daily plans. But what I really want to do this morning is get with you guys and talk about a subject that, unfortunately for me, it's a little bit distasteful, and I really hate to have to talk about these subjects. But when I committed to doing these videos, I committed to trying to help people. And sometimes in trying to help people, you have to talk about things that are distasteful. And this is going to be one of them. And as we go into this, you'll understand it a little more. But I just recently found out something that, I guess I want to just say it just made me feel bad. I found out that the gym where I work out at, their company policy is that if you feel like a woman and you're a man, you're allowed to go into the women's dressing room and dress in there. That just seemed a little bit shocking to me. It disturbed me because my wife works out and she goes in the dressing room and has to shower and dress and do those kinds of things after she works out. And I find it disturbing that there's a possibility that a man might be in there with her in that private place. And the place where I work out is Planet Fitness. And I had seen a video to where a woman had encountered this. And I thought, well, before I make a decision on anything concerning this, I really need to understand a little more about it. So I did a little bit of research and found out that in several parts of the country, they were having problems with men going into women's dressing room and dressing. And some of the problems arose from what I understand, men hiding in some of the stalls and watching women dress and things like that. Uh, that should disturb anybody, I would think. But I thought about that a little bit and I thought, this just seems so insane. It's just hard for me to wrap my mind around it. So I thought, well, let me ask a few people around that I know and even some that I don't know what their thoughts are on this. So I started talking to people, and I didn't want to lead people's thought process. I wanted to hear what they really had to say and what they really thought. So I would just ask them a simple question. What do you think about men being allowed to dress in a woman's dressing room in any facility? And overwhelmingly, the response that I got was pretty strong. Things, that's just wrong. That's evil. That's not right. People shouldn't do that. Those are kind of the responses I got. I did several people, and I never got a positive response at all on this thing. Everybody was pretty strong in their belief that this just shouldn't be happening. And I interviewed, young women, young men, older men, Christians, non-Christians. Uh, so I tried to get at least a reasonable variety of people with different backgrounds. Well, I sat down and I thought about this, and I thought, well, I kind of expected somebody somewhere during all this to probably defend this, but I didn't get a single person that defended this. And so I got thinking, well, I wonder why that is. And then it occurred to me that the part of the country that I live in is the Bible Belt, okay? And people think different here. So I thought, well, the reason I'm getting the responses that I'm getting is this is a cultural thing. The culture that I live in, they just don't believe this is right. So I understand it now to be a cultural thing. But here's what I want to talk about, and it's not necessarily just to harp on men going in the women's dressing room. There's a deeper problem here than that. That's just a symptom of a deeper problem. The cultural side of it is what I want to talk to you guys about this morning. When I think about it, I think about on the news and social media, I'm seeing a lot of people moving out of these big liberal type states, where they call them woke states. That's fine. And big cities and stuff, and moving more into these Bible Belt type places in the South. And I thought about that, and I thought, well, they're leaving there because their mindset and their culture has allowed these things to go on, allowed all kinds of illegal things to go on. I don't want to touch on all those things. I could name a dozen of them right now that's just ludicrous and insane. But they've allowed this to go on, and now they're suffering results of it to the point that their families are not safe. They're afraid for their families. So I'm going to move my family to, and a lot of them will tell you this. I'm going to move my family to a place that has a different moral value, a different cultural value, because I want my family to be safe and I want my kids to be raised different. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. That's a good idea as far as I'm concerned. But here's the thing that I want to say to all of you. You may have stood by and allowed this to happen just a little bit at a time until it got to the point now you can't even raise your families in those areas. You can't even get up and go to work for homeless people and all the different things that are going on, and all the drugs and uh, human trafficking and whatever else may be going on there. And he said, well, I'm going to go to another part of the country, another state, and try to raise my kids different and live in a different thing. First of all, I want to tell you, we love you and we welcome you. We want the best for you and your family. But let me ask you to do me a favor. If you're going to move down here in our culture and in our Bible Belt, and it's not just the Bible Belt, Christian and non-Christian alike think this way down here. We think in a certain way. We have a certain perspective, and it's created a little bit better dynamic than what you guys have where you're at, okay? That's just the facts. And so if you're going to come down here, again, I want to say this. We love you. We want your family and you to do well. We want your success in life. But don't bring the same ideals that you allowed to go on in the places that you're coming from that's destroyed it and have terrible consequences. Don't bring them down here and try to force them on the people that have a conscience about sin and immorality. You come down here, we're not the smartest people in the world, but if you want to live life we live, listen to us, learn from us, understand how we think. Now, we have enough of this stuff, it's starting to slip in here. I even see it now, and it's terrible. I don't like it. I wish we didn't have it coming in here, but we do. But we're pushing back and we're fighting back. And that's the reason I'm talking to you guys this morning. This is just my part of pushing back. All that evil needs to reign is for good men to do nothing. I'm not going to be one of those that sits around and does nothing. I'm going to be one of those that calls this stuff out for what it is. It's wrong and it's immoral. And I could go into all the reasons why. But here's the thing. I can't win this fight alone, and the other people around me can't win it alone. But all of us together can win it. If you come down here where we live like we live, think like we think. And if it don't work out for you, move back to where you came from and try that again. But if you want a better life, you got to get in a culturally moral surrounding, state, county, family, atmosphere, whatever it may be, and start changing the way you think. You can't continue to think the way you think and have the better life. You're going to have the disasters that have been created by this immoral and wrong thinking. So here we are. We want you to do good. I know I've said this, but I want to say it again, that you know and understand where that I'm coming from on a personal level, and a lot of the people around me. We want you to have that good life. We want your family to be safe. We want you to love each other. We want to love you. We want you to love us. But don't bring the garbage to our backyard that you've allowed in yours. And if you come down here, let us help you. We're here to talk to you, to counsel with you, to help you in any way we can. And we welcome you. We don't want to kick people out, but now I want to say this. We're like everybody else. We only have so much resource. So you got to come in here in a way that we can handle helping you. We can't help the whole world, but we can help a few, and we're willing to do that. So spend some time thinking about how you feel about things. You may say, well, this video was about men going into women's dressing room. No, this video is about moral thinking, changing the way you think and changing the dynamics of the place that you live. Now, I would say this more than anything. If you live in one of them places, moving yourself from where you're at to here, that wouldn't be plan A, that'd be plan B as far as I'm concerned. Plan A would be for you to get involved in your community and in the social fabric of the life that you're living and start speaking out against this stuff. Start getting rid of these corrupt politicians that allow this kind of thing to go on and start voting in people that have good moral standing. I hope to God you've got some up there that you can vote in. I really do. And you may be the one. If you are, get on the docket and run for some kind of an office to where you can make an impact. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close this video. Look, we really, truly do love you guys, and we do want the best for you. So God bless, and we're going to sign off.